Africa, the mother of civilization, the history they erased. They told us civilization began in Mesopotamia. They told us Europe was the cradle of philosophy and science. But what if I told you the truth was erased? That Africa, not Mesopotamia, not Greece, was the true birthplace of civilization? Today we uncover the history they never wanted you to know. But before we go deeper, make sure you hit subscribe, because this is the history class they refused to teach us. The lie we were told. In school, we learned about Sumer, Babylon, Greece, and Rome. But Africa, it was reduced to a footnote, shown only through slavery and colonization. Why? Because colonial powers needed to erase Africa's brilliance. If Africa was seen as the root of civilization, their narrative of superiority would collapse. So they crafted maps that shrunk Africa. They rewrote books that skipped African kingdoms. They created a lie so powerful that even Africans began to believe it. But the truth, Africa was the first world, not the third. Africa, the first world. Long before Mesopotamia, civilizations thrived in the Nile Valley. Kemet, what the Greeks later called Egypt, wasn't an isolated miracle. It was built on the shoulders of older African kingdoms, like Nubia and Kush. These Africans built monumental pyramids, temples aligned with the stars, and cities powered by agriculture and trade. Writing? Africa had it. Hieroglyphs in Kemet. The Meroitic script in Nubia mathematics? African priests calculated the stars with precision, centuries before Pythagoras was even born. Religion? The very concepts of resurrection, divine judgment, and heaven, ideas we now see in Christianity, Judaism, and Islam, can be traced back to African spiritual systems. Insert visuals of pyramids, hieroglyphs, Nubian statues, Ethiopian churches. The Golden Empires, but Africa's brilliance didn't end with the Nile. In the West, the Mali Empire flourished. Its ruler, Mansa Musa, was so wealthy that his pilgrimage to Mecca crashed economies across the Middle East. At Timbuktu, thousands of manuscripts on medicine, astronomy, and philosophy filled libraries, proving that Africa was a continent of scholars. In Songhai, universities taught advanced mathematics and law. In Benin, bronze castings were created with techniques Europe wouldn't master for centuries. In Great Zimbabwe, massive stone cities rose, so advanced that Europeans refused to believe Africans built them. Empire after empire, Africa wasn't just surviving, it was leading the world. The stolen knowledge. So what happened? Why don't we learn this? When colonizers arrived, they didn't just take land and people. They took history. African artifacts were stolen into European museums. African inventions were renamed under European scholars. And slavery was used to rewrite Africa's story as one of weakness instead of greatness. Maps distorted Africa's size to make it appear smaller. Textbooks glorified Europe and erased Africa. This wasn't ignorance, it was strategy. Because if Africa's children knew the truth, colonial lies would collapse. Insert visuals, maps showing Africa shrunk, stolen artifacts in British Museum, etc. Africa's legacy today. But Africa's story didn't vanish. It lives on. In our music, in our science, in our spirituality, in our blood, every beat of the drum echoes the heartbeat of the world. Every mathematical formula, every medical breakthrough carries the fingerprints of Africa. This is the truth they tried to bury. Africa didn't just contribute to the world. Africa built the world, and now it's time to reclaim that history. Subscribe now, because we are only just beginning to uncover the hidden history of Africa. And let me ask you, should schools around the world rewrite history to tell the truth about Africa? Drop your thoughts in the comments.